So today the Browns have the 39th pick, the 70th pick, and the 74th pick. Later tonight, Earl the Pearl and myself are going live on the YouTube page for instant reaction to pick 39. That stream's going to start at 7:30. Exclusively on YouTube, just on YouTube. And we'll be giving you about an hour's worth of content and instant reaction when the Browns are on the clock at 39. We've seen the new round 2 mock drafts come out this morning based off what happened in round 1. These are the projections for the Browns. ESPN has the Browns taking Chase Basantis, the offensive guard from A&M. CBS has the Browns taking Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety from Toledo. The Athletic has them taking Colton Hood, the cornerback from Tennessee. Walter Football has them taking Zion Young, the edge rusher from Missouri. And NFL.com has them taking TJ Parker, the edge rusher from Clemson. 4 defensive players, only 1 offensive player, and that offensive player is an offensive lineman, which is very different than the guys I asked you to tell me who you would draft at 39. Jason, start us off. What's the ideal pick for the Browns at 39 if this player is still on the board?
Well, I'll start by saying I like Zach and G's better. I just don't think they're going to be there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go before the Browns. Now, obviously, the Browns could trade up, but if the Browns stay put at 39, I don't think either guy that they chose is going to be there. And I texted Zach last night and said, is it diabolical if I go defensive tackle at 39? Just because I think that's a spot you just keep reinforcing the lines, keep reinforcing with Cade McDonald from Ohio State.
Yeah.
So I did consider that, but ultimately I went with Chris Bell, the receiver from Louisville, who would have been a first-round pick, blew out his knee, ACL in November, so of course we're a little bit concerned about there. I just love his size. He's 6'2", 220. He's the big frame receiver that we've been talking about that they need. I think he slots in really well when he's healthy. I don't know that's 100% that he's going to be ready for training camp, but he's not going to be there when the Browns are back on the clock in 74.
Yeah.
So I do think he goes somewhere in the second round tonight. Maybe because of the knee, he falls farther than I thought that he would. But in terms of second-round guys, I really like Bell because of his size and speed combination. He's just a really, really big dude, and he's that big frame receiver that the Browns really sort of desperately need still.
Chris Bell, to me and Tyvis was doing our breakdown of receivers. Chris Bell's tape against Miami was probably one of the best tapes of any receiver. I mean, he dominated. You go back and watch what Miami did through the playoff run. They played Ohio State. They played Indiana. They dominated up front and in the secondary. And Chris Bell really got loose on them last year. I like him. He's fast. He's big. He's strong. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL. So we'll see where he comes off the board with that.
The track record with these guys in these late ACLs is not good. But I can tell you a healthy Chris Bell would have been the pick at 24.
Is that because the Browns liked him?
It's because he was that
good.
Yeah, because he was that good. And when you look at his profile, it fits what the Browns like. He was awesome last season.
Yeah, I stayed receiver. I gave him a plethora of guys, but I'm gonna go with a guy that we talked about first one, and it's Chris Brazzell. You take a look at him from Tennessee. He's big, he's fast. The only thing that scares me is how these Tennessee receivers be panning out. We already got.
You got one here.
What's the other guy? McNuggets knows all too well. The receiver they drafted for the Giants. I loved him.
Jalen Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt. He was a monster in college. They run this wide splits thing, and they got guys out, and they manufacture so much space. But one thing about this guy, he's long, he's lanky, he's tall. He can get down the field. I think he ran in the 4.3s, which really surprised me. And if you don't get him, I like a guy named Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. And then Zachariah Branch, who got in a little bit of trouble. He's another speed guy out of the University of Georgia, but he transfers from USC. And N'Kobe Lane is another big guy from USC. I think he's more of a 4th, 5th round type guy. But there's guys that are littered there that can really help you out at the wide receiver position.
In Brazzell, you looked at Cedric Tillman and said, "You're not afraid of another Cedric Tillman?"
No, that's why you think I was apprehensive but the only thing that gets me with Brazzell is he's way faster than Cedric Tillman. But it is a knock. It's a solid knock on those guys.
I got a question on Brazzell real quick. It feels like the evaluations on him vary drastically.
They do.
I've seen him as high as the second best receiver in this class, ahead of Jordan Tyson and Mekhi Lemon. I've seen him as low as like 17 on certain people's boards. And it feels like that middle grouping of receivers, it all comes down to personal preference. There's not really this guy's for sure number 5, this guy's for sure 6, 7. It's all kind of personal preference. What makes him such a weird evaluation where you think some teams are just way higher on a guy like that versus other teams who say, nah, it doesn't really fit what we're looking for?
Because they do things to manufacture yards in Tennessee. Like, you know, they use the split system so that he's basically lined up on the sidelines.
95% of the time in the same position.
Same position. So it's like, do you understand route combinations? Do you understand where you need to be in certain zones and sitting down? Can you get off certain coverage? Do you know how to? It's a lot of nuance that you come in behind. So say, for instance, you got an Ohio State receiver. They know how to run the whole route tree. They're going to run. You get Ohio State receiver, throw them in the game, they're ready to go. With Tennessee, there's a little bit of teaching involved. And even, hey, can you get off coverage in certain coverages the guys are trying to do in the NFL? So I think that's why it's such a wide variety in the opinion.
You go outside receiver and you go outside receiver. I think we did this with the assumption that Denzel Boston probably would be gone. We know his dad is David Boston.
Yeah, I thought you were going Denzel Boston.
I thought he was going to be gone.
Yeah,
I think he's the first player off the board. Like when they turn the TV on, Denzel Boston's going.
Yeah, very very similar body types there, and obviously a known commodity because he did it at Washington, and we know who his father is. I'm going to a lesser known place, and I'm going to the other side of the ball. McNeil-Warren from Toledo, graded as a first rounder by a lot of people. Mm-hmm. This dude looks like an NBA player. Like he's built, long, skinny,
6'4",
and he didn't test great, but he is all over the place. And I know it was the MAC. Well, guess what the Browns did on the second day last year? They went to Northwest Ohio. They found a guy who's far from a finished product, and that guy is way better than anybody thought right away. Yeah. So different positions, but McNeil-Warren is an interesting kid. He's from Florida. He's part of this Toledo pipeline. 2 years ago, they had a first rounder. He was borderline first round. If he's still there at 39, I know the Browns are interested.
The fact that when you watch him, he moves around with the physicality of a linebacker, but still has great ball skills. He's 6'4". Like I watched him at Toledo, and the first thing you look at is, who is this kid back there with this single digit on with the locks? I said he looks like, I'm like, why? How did y'all get him? Why is he not playing at Florida or Florida State? He is that good. So I thought this guy right here, I think either him or Denzel Boston will be one of the first names that people are taking. I think guys would literally trade up in later on in the second round to get this guy because I think he's that good of a safety.
Yeah, I think, what are the Raiders? 36, Mike? That is to watch. If he gets past 36, I got a good chance that the Browns get him at 39, but I'm not sure he's going to get past 30.
Yeah, so this is the order for tonight. The San Francisco 49ers have the 33rd pick after their trade last night. Yep. The Cardinals are at 34. The Bills, after their trade, are at 35. Then you have the Raiders at 36, Giants at 37, Texans at 38, and then the Browns pick at number 39.
Am I crazy for saying D tackle at 39?
Well, I mean, they value
Caden McDonald's still there.
What's that?
But Caden McDonald's not the type of D tackle that they like. But I mean, they keep investing in D tackle.
Now, I would say I expect to see them draft a defensive end. I think they will draft the end or edge rusher. TJ Parker is a very interesting guy as well. I was disappointed with Clemson.
There are a couple good edges left, by the way.
Clemson should have had Woods win in the first round, but Clemson is loaded with 5-star type talent, speed everywhere. It's just disappointing, including Cade Klubnik and everybody can win. But when you look at their roster, they got blue chip guys that can move around. I just disappointed in how their season really kind of turned out. But there's some edge rushers that's still available, and I do think that they may take one of those.
I'm on the ESPN best available. Some of the edge rushers still on the board. Zion Young from Missouri, Cassius Howell, who was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Gabe Yakis from Illinois, TJ Parker, Derek Moore, and R. Mason Thomas were all guys that at some point in the process were talked about as at least potential for, not necessarily guaranteed locks, and obviously they didn't go top round, but guys who could be in their late first round mix who are still on the board here at the top of round 2.
I think if you look at tonight, I think it makes sense. A best available in one spot, an edge rusher in one spot, and a wide receiver.
Do you think that they'll find? Do you think Some of the corners, I'm not sure. I would have to check with Tyvis. Which one of these guys do you think is a better slotted guy to play in the slot? Because there are some good names on the board, like Hood, Pond is still on the
Jermod McCoy?
Yeah, McCoy.
Pons is a slot. Now that's dangerous because that'd be Tyvus's guy. We'd never hear the end of it.
Right. And I like him a lot. Like I really kind of think he's a really good player. And Andrew Berry, the one thing that we can say he does well, he finds corners.
Yeah.
The Tyson Campbell move turned out to be
it's
money.
a great trade. It's a great trade.
He looks like a specimen out there. Like he does do that at a very high rate. So Pons is a guy who if you can get him and put him in a slot, don't get it twisted. I think the Browns are always looking to keep the defense where it's at, which is being upper level in the league. So I think they'll target a corner too.
He is very small to go in the top 40, but he was awesome last year.
His tape is. I mean, I was looking around. He played Ohio State, and it wasn't that many people open. And let me just tell you that's one of the biggest compliments in the world.
Now he had one cheat code. Jeremiah Smith was his high school teammate, so he knew.
Oh, he was in his bag of tricks.
He was really good from the whole back half of the season and that whole playoff run. He was really, really good.
In those 70s picks, I would like to see a guard.
Yep.
Either one ready to start right now, or if not ready to start right now, if Tevin Jenkins is the starter at right guard this year, a guard who's ready to step in and start next year. I'd really like to see another lineman / guard.
I'm going to give you a name, Jalen Farmer from Kentucky, right guard.
Okay.
He was at the Senior Bowl. He's just one of those dudes you look and say that's an NFL starting offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Do you think they would be in the mix for a center?
I do. I think they see Elton Jenkins as the center right now, but they're open to flex. So if the right guy is there, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Jenkins is the starting center and Whippler's the backup probably.
Yeah, because Whippler's under contract for one more year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are some of the guards available today. Chase Basantis from A&M, Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon, Brian Parker from Duke, Inez Cooper from Miami, Jalen Farmer from Kentucky, the top 5 offensive guards still on the board according to ESPN. And as far as the centers go, you have Jake Slaughter from Florida, Sam Heck from Kansas State, Logan Jones from Iowa, Connor Liu from Auburn, Trey Zune from A&M, and Parker Brailsford, who Zach had mocked to the Browns in his final mock draft. So
I mean, if it's Basantis,
still
he
possible.
could be the starter day one.
Yeah, he's going to go in the first
good.
5-6 picks tonight for sure.
Now, you know what's crazy is you may have a chance to not even see no quarterbacks.
No, I think you'll see a few.
Who do you think is the first one to come off the board?
If some team thinks Carson Beck can be an NFL starter, then I just don't get it.
I don't think he is. But I think Beck goes. I think Beck, Aller, and Nussmeier all go today. Well, no, I shouldn't say that.
I don't
Today's
think
only
Aller
2 and
goes.
3.
Yeah,
It's 2 and 3.
I think Nussmeier and Beck go tonight.
Carson Beck is the biggest. I would love to talk to Mr. Todd Monken about him. Hey, what do you think about Carson Beck? To me, he just seems like the biggest wild card in the world.
Well, you might get your answer tonight about 9:30, G.
That's right. What? Let's see. Oh goodness, the internet. Oh god.
I don't think the Browns are doing that.
Hey, listen.
Browns history says they're going to take Diego Pavia tonight. So.
Oh Lord.
That's crazy. You got Pavia and you got Dylan Gabriel on the same roster.
Dylan Gabriel's DeJuan Jones next to Diego.
Like they're gonna have to combine them like a transformer. They're gonna have to transform. They're gonna have to take both sides. They're gonna have to use the Plutara earrings. They're gonna have to just fuse. Hey, is Pavio? What was his name? Be Pavio Gabriel? That would be crazy.
That's a gangster.
Definitely. That's crazy.